Hey everyone, this is Dee from Catalyst Energies, and I'm so grateful that you are here. Thank you for me today. I'm especially excited because this is a debut of a new series that I'm doing called Multidimensional Readings, where we take the astrology transits of the weekend and use them and overlay them on an intuitive card reading from a multidimensional perspective. For this week, the reading is for Friday, November 23rd through Monday, November 25th, 2019. And I especially appreciate your patience, even though this is a day late. I'm still getting used to a new schedule, and the whole concept of content creation is all just, I'm on a learning curve right now. However, the way that I like to think about it sometimes is astrology doesn't always have to be forward-moving or forward-thinking at all. In fact, because it is a fourth dimensional gateway through time, I often find a lot of insight looking back on the transits that have already happened and looking at what's been going on in my life. And I find that to be just as helpful sometimes as being able to use astrology to understand what's going to happen or what's currently happening or any kind of predictive sense. So take that for what you will. My hope is to have this more timely so that people can use the information to plan ahead or to get some insight in the upcoming days. So the big transits over the weekend that everybody's talking about, if you listen to any other astrology, if you read any other astrology, if you're astrology at all, the big transits that are happening this weekend are Venus and Jupiter conjuncting in Sagittarius right off of the galactic center. So we're going to start there just to give a brief overview and kind of my sense of what's going on with that. Jupiter is the planet of expansion and abundance and good fortune. It's also about inflation as well. So there's always a negative and positive aspect to these energies that are associated with these planets and points. And having it over the galactic center has been, I feel like, has been expanding that portal much bigger than we've experienced in a while. Jupiter has a 12-year transit, which means it goes around this. It takes one of our years to go around the sun and come back to the vantage point that we saw it. So 12 years ago, the Jupiter was at the galactic center. So this is not a transit that happens very often. And then to have Venus come along and line up with Jupiter in this space, the Venus is about what is about the physical, sensual aspects, the things that make us feel good, the relationships, the money and resources, and even material things, certain types of food and nice clothes and warm fuzzy blankets. I mean, these are just all kind of ideas. And the card that is represented by Venus in the tarot is the Empress. So it's this really beautiful feminine energy, and to have it line up with Jupiter right now on the galactic center has an incredible amount of manifestation potential for what we not only want, but what we want in a larger galactic mission-oriented sense. Because if you're at this channel at this point, you're at least asking some questions about your spiritual path, your spiritual mission. How do I activate my highest potential? And so this is the type of energy that we're really, from a multi-dimensional perspective, we're also looking at how our lives in 3D reality intersect with our fifth dimensional self, which is outside of the realm of space and time, and is about our energy, and it's about love, and it's about light. So I am getting distracted because I keep getting texts, and it just keeps showing up on my screen. So Jupiter and Venus, and if you go out into the night sky right now, because we're in a dark moon phase, which, the moon is about to be new on the 26th, Venus and Jupiter are the brightest items. They're the brightest things in the night sky after dusk, and it's striking. So if you get an opportunity to go out and see it while you can, I would really recommend it. So the thing that I've been thinking about and kind of downloading consistently is this imagery of like a birthing process, because Jupiter, again, like I said, expands wherever it goes. It's the largest planet in our solar system. It is gas. Gas has the ability to expand into any space that it finds itself in and fill it to capacity. And so the galactic center, the center of our galaxy, is a supermassive black hole, as far as we know. And that's actually the case for all spiral galaxies, according to astrophysics, is that at the center of these spiral galaxies is a supermassive black hole. And so Jupiter has been expanding this space, and it feels like a birthing. And it feels to me, I mean, I'm relating it to my own life and what's happening now. It feels like, ready or not, it's happening. Just like a birth process, there is a point of no return where the process begins, and you have to trust your body, and you have to trust nature, and you have to trust the process as this new life is coming into the world. And I feel like this is a very beautiful analogy, especially with Venus being like such a feminine, nurturing, earth-oriented energies, bringing something into physical form. So we might be feeling like, especially on a galactic scale, that there's this portal is opening and the birthing is happening. And sometimes, there is some fear along with that, because you can't really initiate or even mitigate this process with your mind. There's no thinking necessarily through a birthing process. It's just more about trusting, nature to do what it has been, what it is meant to do in this process. So there's a lot of potential here, but I also really big, and it could feel a little overwhelming to people. So as we move through the weekend, so this is coming exact on the 24th. The other very large transit that is happening just within hours of this on the same day is the Mars and Scorpio opposition to Uranus and Taurus. So Uranus retrograde in Taurus, it's been here for a while. It's really moving slow. It is actually scheduled to station direct on the day of or the day after the big Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So either January 11th or 12th, Uranus is going to go direct. So just kind of put a pin in that, because as if the Saturn and Pluto conjunction wasn't enough of end of the world as we know it kind of energy, Uranus going direct in a sign that has to do with the physical manifestation of life all around us, the actual earth, our bodies, the matrix essentially is, and that's not in a negative way. Taurus represents the manifestation of physical reality. And so to have Uranus go direct in this space, right as the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in another earth sign of Capricorn, is incredibly powerful. So like I said, put a pin in that. That's something that we're going to talk about later. But in the meantime, Mars just moving into Scorpio, Mars being a co-ruler of Scorpio, the sign of the subconscious, the dark realms, our dreams, power, intimacy, trust, all of these things. Scorpio is the ruler of the 8th house, and I've heard it explained, and I really like this definition. It's just the 8th house is sex, death, and taxes, because all of these three aspects have to do with an incredible intimacy and trust and relationship with other people, and the power dynamics involved in all of those things. So Mars is very powerful here. Mars already is very initiatory, it's very enterprising, it's fire, it's, Aries is the other sign that it co-rules. So we're finding a lot of power and drive to get what we want, not necessarily for ourselves, but in the realm of Scorpio, to get what we want for not just us, but for the people we're involved in with relationships, a relationship with ourselves, with our subconscious. There is with Mercury here having gone direct just a few days ago, there is I feel like, and the sun just coming out of Scorpio. Oh yeah, just went into Sagittarius on Friday. Yay! So this is really also adding to that Venus and Jupiter energy. And then maybe with the reading, depending on what comes up. There is, this opposition is a moment of tension, and so it is about finding the balance point between these two opposing forces. And the duality in nature is kind of the essence of our nature, our 3D nature. Atomically, matter is made out of the balancing of positive and negative charge, between masculine and feminine, light and dark, death and rebirth. All of these things are, and so the real balance, the balance is balancing these points. So when we have Uranus in this sign of Taurus, from a mundane level, the physical world around you, Uranus is moving in retrograde, and Uranus is the great awakener, is the revolutionary. It's outside of the realm, physical nature, right? It's just past Saturn. Actually, I can't remember the name of the god Uranus is connected to, but that deity, that archetype, is actually the father of Saturn. So it's even this higher level, and it's also the higher octane of Mercury. So Aquarius is the ruler of the sign of Aquarius, which is about the collective. It's an air sign. It's a fixed air sign, so it's very much connected to the movement of information, but not for the collective mind. So Uranus has been in this place kind of shaking up the aspects of physical reality, and it's really important to know where these points and planets fall in your personal chart, because this is the only way to really story. But as in the collective right now, these are the energies that are playing out. And so Mars is really just energized and going for what he wants in the sign of Scorpio, another fixed sign, fixed water, going deep and into the depths in order to understand these power dynamics associated with it. There is going to be some opposition here. So having it happen at the same time as the Venus-Jupiter conjunction is that, and it feels like some opposition, or at least some struggle, in terms of there's this expansion and this wonderful potential and like harnessing it, and now the sun's in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is about like the higher ideals, the just law, and religion, philosophy. It's about truth. It's about seeking truth. It's about freedom and expression. And to have this opposition between Mars and Uranus is really putting what we've learned through Scorpio season to the test, what Uranus has been consistently working with in terms of our physical reality, shifting our perspective. So it's really important to stay grounded, especially because while this is happening, we're going to be in a dark moon, or a balsamic moon in Scorpio, people. The balsamic moon, or the dark moon, is the last little bit before the moon goes to completely new, which is the moon is being is blocking the sun's light to Earth, and so it's in between the sun and seeing the dark side, because the sun is shining on the other side. And to be in the realm of Scorpio, which is the very deep depths, the places where light doesn't necessarily reach, and the moon being about our feminine nature, our intuition, subconscious, being in the sign about the unconscious or the subconscious and the shadow. It's essential right now that we are really trusting ourselves and our intuition, and to not get caught up. I just not get caught up in the expansiveness of the Sagittarius energy. I have a lot of Sag and Scorpio in my chart. I have a stellium of each in my chart in some pretty significant places. So I understand this, like, they're really right next to natural flow from one to the other. So there is a lot of potential for insight here. Right now we have a moon moving through Libra that's trying to, yes, move into the dark moon. And then on the 25th, let's see here, we have the Sun quincunx Uranus. So the quincunx is the 150-degree angle. It's an aspect that calls for it's not balanced. There are two aspects that are completely not only are they in elements, the sun being in Sagittarius, mutable fire. You have Uranus in an earth sign, in a fixed earth sign. So there is not a lot of it is the square peg in a round hole type of energy. And so with the sun being in Sagittarius now, coming through the Aquarius and really giving us a lot of hope and inspiration and the bigger picture, like we see in the bigger picture, and over with Jupiter and Venus there, the galactic center, that is the biggest of pictures. Like, that is your mission. And so by the end of Monday, we could really see, we can also feel again where this reality check with Uranus and Taurus that has been happening for a while. Like, if you're tuned into this and you're working with it, like, this is not going to be necessarily new to you, but there's a lot of opportunity here to make some adjustments in terms of what you see, how you're seeing the bigger picture for yourself. And we're going to be in Sagittarius all month, and I think this is giving us opportunity right now. So I want to pull the cards. I shuffled the deck, I pulled them in my way, and I haven't looked at them yet, so I want to do that together with you. And so before I do that, I want to explain this multidimensional aspect here. So right here on the horizontal axis, we have what I consider is the third dimensional axis. So it is the laws of 3D, cause and effect. You can think of it as past, present, and future, but it's more about the energy going into the situation, which is here, the energy that's the likely outcome based on these factors. Now, here in the vertical axis, we have what I consider more of a fifth dimensional aspect. So where your energetic body is, like what's going on for you outside of the realm of 3D. Where is your energy body? So where is your conscious awareness, your upper chakras, the things that you know are going on and then you're aspiring towards. Here is in your subconscious, the things that might be hidden in your root and sacral chakra, the things that might be just out of your awareness. And then here is the intersection between the third and the fifth dimension, which is the heart. And so what's going on for you right now in 3D is also very applicable to what is active in your heart space right now and in your third chakra with your will. That actually, the third chakra area has a lot to do with the earth energy. So as we go through it, again, remember that the astrology is a gateway. And when I say fourth dimensional, I mean moving. You have 3D, which is space-time. 4D, which is the movement through space-time, opportunity to move through space-time by anticipating the movement of the planets and the stars and how they relate to each other. You can move through time by understanding. And then the fifth dimension, which is our light body, our energy body, what's going on outside of those. So here we go. We're going to start. And I usually have more cards and a considerably bigger altar, traveling for months. And this is, I'm down to my travel pack. So let's see. The Jack of Diamonds. Oh, by the way, this is the archetypal I received from my Reiki teacher as a gift with my master attunement. And so I really like these because they are based on the archetypes developed the archetypal idea that developed by Carl Jung. And so you can act with these cards, but the suits all have a relation to an element, and all of the court cards and then all correspond for the most part to the traditional tarot. So the Jack of Diamonds, so diamonds being the element of earth and sensation, the Jacks tend to be messengers, so I think of them as like the page as well. So we have the Jack of Diamonds, which is the morning herald. All right. The 10 of spades, spades being the air signs. Champion, I like that. Okay, and then here we go for the upper fifth dimension, existence, the 3 of clubs. Existence, clubs is the fire sign. Ah, gosh, this fate card, I'm telling you, I pull these cards for myself every day, and 95% of my readings, this card is coming up. It's pretty striking how the timelines, I just feel like the timelines are merging, and the things we put into place, you can't, and this comes back to this whole idea of birthing, that, you know, you put all these pieces into place to create something, and now you have to trust the process and what's coming through. So another fire sign. And then we have the outcome is creativity. Oh, that's nice. So, we've been in a position where we've gotten some level of information about the world around us. We have come to understand that there is something new or good coming. So, and then again, I feel like this has a lot to do with Venus in Sagittarius lining up at the galactic center. This morning herald, she's bringing something good to us, and has brought something good to us. I mean, it's in the cause position. I like the little rabbit down there. You know, this is about sensation. It's about physical manifestation. It could be about a download. I've been getting a lot of like actual downloads. I'm going to talk about that later. But the Morning Herald is bringing something in that's good or wanted, something physical into our space or an understanding. So now we reach here. The middle is the Champion. If you look really closely, the 10 of spades. So this is definitely an air sign. This is about the mind. And if you see really down here, this guy is going to town on this. It looks like an alligator. Yeah, some sort of lizard, reptile. We're at a position right now where we're really able to just slay the reptilian mind of fight or flight, right? That's where the reptilian mind is involved, which has to do with instinctual types of feelings, because it is about feelings. There's no thought process here when it comes to the reptilian mind. You just act and react. And so we're in a position right now as a collective where we are really taking, with our minds, we're really destroying that which is leading us to react as opposed to respond. And it is with our minds, and it is kind of this masculine. So that's something that I would certainly be mindful about too. Again, this also feels like Mars in some ways. Even though Mars and Scorpio are not an air sign at all, Uranus is the ruler of an air sign, and so feels like a potential connection. We have here at the higher conscious level, what we're aware of, what's going on in these upper chakras. It's just an awareness here. This is the 3 of clubs, which is the fire sign. So if you wanted the three of wands in the tarot, it's this idea of existence, an awareness of our place in all of it and what it means for us, and the human experience. Us in the world as a human, but as a dynamic human, not necessarily a static human. And that's going on. That's our level of like conscious awareness in our energy bodies and our third eye and a crown. What's coming in is that we are a dynamic part of this process, and we are aware of that. So what's going on in the subconscious is the fate, the 5 of clubs. So this again is a fire sign. And the 5s in the tarot especially have a lot to do with the aspect of opportunity. So most of the 5s in the tarot, if you read tarot at all, are familiar with the symbolism. Most of the 5s are usually cards that nobody wants. The 5 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, the 5 of Pentacles especially. It's so sad with the people, the crippled people out in the snow outside of the church. Nobody likes that. In our subconscious, we understand that what's happening here, what is at the root, what maybe we need to develop at the root is this sense of trusting the process, trusting the dynamic process of creation, because that's what the wands and the fire energy are all about. And that's where Sagittarius is too. It's a fire sign. It is about trust, the process of creation. Trust what's happening. Trust what you've put into place. Trust what's going on in your root. Trusting the earth. And I like the imagery of it's kind of tossing these clubs out, kind of like dice or anything like that. There is an element of what we perceive of as chance, but really it's more about trusting that process. And I find that really encouraging to have that at the root. And so if you feel like that's something to work on, you can really tap into this energy. And so our outcome card, which I really like, because I think that this is the pinnacle of what we're all here for, creativity. So the hearts are the water sign. The 4 of hearts corresponds to, it's this tapping in. 4 is a very stable number. It implies a certain amount of structure in a way, and it's the first real stable aspect of an element or in the tarot. So the things that we've developed so far, the 4th, when you get to the 4th card and the 4th number, it has a lot to do with the initial stability of everything we learned about that. So when you have the 4 of creativity, this is giving you the capacity to really create from a space of imagination and feeling secure in that. In a way, you feel cradled, you feel inspired, the inspiration is coming from here and here, right? We know here in our minds that we're slaying the dragon, like we feel like the champion, right? But here, this is where the real opportunity comes in when we're aligning with this part of ourselves, is the opportunity of creation. Because that's the whole point of why we're here on this planet, is to create, is to be part of creation. And the 4 is not the pinnacle of that, but it's the beginning of really tapping into your imagination and being able to bring that out into some manifestation in the world. Because you can see what she's doing is painting. And she's got this, and it's a mermaid too. I just love that. Mermaid being a figure that is half human and half fish and is able to traverse, the waters, but still has the intellectual capacity of the human. I like that juxtaposition of the mermaid in terms of an archetype. So I think I'm just going to leave it here for now. I think that's a lot. I'm going to pull one more card as kind of a gift card that I like to do. So I'm shuffling now just to kind of give us as a collective some extra guidance, you know, something to keep an eye on, something that will help maybe shift our attention to maybe what we need to align, to help us align with this message a little bit more. So, oh, there it came. It's in here somewhere. It flipped right up. Maybe it flipped. There it is. All right. Ah, I love this. The 8 of Clubs, self-realization. So, this whole process is really about fulfillment and wholeness. And this is the path that we're on right now. Whatever your mission is, whatever that galactic mission is that you're coming to terms with, that you're coming to understand, what you're coming to even manifest right now, because I feel like it is manifesting whether you're ready or not. You know, we're all kind of getting pushed through this birth canal, and it's not exactly the most comfortable. Me personally, getting on here and making these videos and creating content and putting myself out there to an audience is not a comfortable process for me. I mean, doing in the astrology and interfacing with people one-on-one is great, but this is a comfort zone. But I know that it's part of my mission for whatever reason is to start putting this information out there. And it's not comfortable, but that's what we're doing. So really, you know, take that into consideration as you go through the weekend, that we're here to find our fulfillment and our wholeness. And we already have the tools. We've gotten some really good messages, some downloads, gifts, some stuff physically that we can actually interact with our senses has come in, and we have this really nice aspect in our minds. Our minds have the potential to really the things that are holding us back or that we're afraid of, and really being the champion. All right, guys, thank you so much for being part of this video. If you have any questions, all my information is going to be in the description box below. I'm offering readings right now, astrological consultations, this multidimensional intuitive reading. I'm doing distance Reiki sessions. For now, I'm going to be back in the Portland area in just a few weeks and get settled back into life there, where I'm hoping to have a treatment space. And so then the Reiki treatments and things like that will be something that can happen in person. Does not need to be done in person, and it's just as effective and is just as beautiful. So again, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you for my next video. Bye, guys.